Good evening. Welcome to another edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show right here on YouTube. And I got another good scam alert for you. Of course, if you have been supporting the 411 Talk Zone radio show, my content now is about scams and, of course, some good news. But tonight's scam is something different. In fact, I heard about the scam right on WLFI TV here in Lafayette, Indiana. And the name of the scam is called voice mimicking or AI voice mimicking. So tonight's video, I want to talk about AI voice mimicking. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go through a little article, and I'm going to let you see some videos, and then I'm going to go ahead and give you my commentary to follow up on all the information that I have gathered. And I'm going to leave the link to the article under the comment section of my videos. And it's very important that you understand these scams because more and more of them are popping up. And I got another scam to present to you next week called brushing. And I just want to say this when it comes to information, with the advent of technology, the criminals have gotten smarter as well. And they're basically taking the technology that was developed to make everything expeditious for us in the workplace, at home. Well, the criminals have looked into it too to give themselves a advantageous position when it comes to these scams. And what is AI voice mimicking? Well, what happens is some of the scam calls that you're getting, you have AI, they're mimicking your voice. And then once they mimic your voice, you get a spam call. Sometimes you will get a voice message, sometimes you're not. But in the end, what this scam is trying to do, just like other scams, it's trying to get you to react, trying to get you to be impulsive so you'll give up your information. See, that's the whole purpose of scams. They want your information where they can steal your identity, they can sell your identity, and it's a money making scheme. And if you put all the scams together, they're all known as grifting. I'm going to get into grifting later on because the art of grifting is to basically live off of somebody else by thinking you're important. Now, who grifts out here? Politicians grift, college professors grift. In other words, they make money off of someone's hard work while they don't produce anything at all. Government employees, some of them are grifters. But scams, what these scammers are, they're grifters. Heck, even YouTubers. A lot of YouTubers are grifters. That's why some of their content isn't as good as it used to be. Because when the money kicked in, they cowered down to the money, they let go of their integrity, and watered down their content. See, I don't do that here. That's why my channel hasn't grown as large as others. And I don't care for it to grow because I'm always maintain my integrity and my character to give you the best content that's going to help you. Of course, it's going to help me. Because what I'm doing here, especially tonight, I'm going to tell you about these AI voice mimicking scams. You need to start checking your phone. and you start checking your accounts because you have individuals that want to dip their hand into the till, your till, take what you earn, what you worked hard for, so they can put it in their pocket for basically doing nothing. Let's get into the article. I'm going to share the screen. Now, it's known as voice mimicking or voice cloning. So, voice cloning AI scams are on the rise. Now, I never even heard of them until I watched the news tonight. That's why you always have to keep abreast of what's going on. Now, though many services are improved with AI, just like I told you, for the good, well, the criminals are out there as well because scams are increasing. And what scammers do is use tactics like voice cloning to mimic voices just to steal your money. Now, here's what you need to protect yourself from cyber threats or cyber theft. Now, if someone calls you and says you won the lottery, you likely know what to do. Common sense says you're going to hang up because it's probably a scam. But what if the voice on the other line is your child and they're in trouble? That's what happened to Miss Jennifer DiStefano, who received a call from an unknown number and heard the panicked voice of her daughter was in danger and needed a $1 million ransom paid to her kidnappers. And this was according to CNN. Now, thankfully, Jennifer was able to confirm her daughter was safe and didn't part with any money, but the experience was terrifying. Now, in the ongoing efforts by scammers to find new ways to steal your money, federal officials are warning consumers to be aware of clone voices. Now, with all that being said, how does voice cloning actually work? Well, with the growth of AI, which is artificial intelligence, it's basically the AI has made it easier for criminals to clone voices and create snippets of dialogue that sound just like the people you know. In fact, according to the Federal Trade Commission reports in 2022, the United States lost $2.6 million to imposter scams alone. Now, scammers, what they can do, they can pull pieces of a person's real voice and have an AI tool use those voice patterns to create synthetic conversations by copying and manipulating your voice, said Sean Murphy, who was the vice president and chief of the information security officer at BECU. Now, Murphy said even a small number of recorded words from a voice recording is enough for AI tools to successfully imitate a person's voice. When in doubt, Murphy says to be cautious when an urgent request arises, even if it sounds like someone you know. Now, AI scams are more sophisticated. Just like I told you about technology, scammers are using it as well. So technology used to scam people, extending beyond voice impersonations. Images of people who don't exist are used to create false media files. Again, let that sink in for a moment. Technology used to scam people extends well beyond voice impersonations. In fact, images of people who don't exist are used to create false social media profiles and deepfake videos, and they can be manipulated to show real people doing things they didn't do. Murphy said it's all in effect to increase the efficiency and effectiveness of what digital security professionals refer to as social engineering. AI finds patterns in your behavior that make it easier for the scammer to target you and convince you to give them access to your personal information. So, the most likely way credit union members are at risk is someone trying to get your credentials, like your password or your challenge question information, Murphy said. So, what happens is they might use that information to pretend to be a member and try to get someone from BECU to give them account access. So, with the addition of AI capabilities in social engineering, attackers can be even more convincing to gain unauthorized access. So, again, with these scams, you got to know how to play the game. This is chess, not checkers. Sometimes you're going to have to be on defense, sometimes you're going to have to be on offense. So, when it comes to scams, it can be scary, but talking about online scams might make AI sounds scary, but Murphy said it's important to remember that legitimate organizations use it for positive purposes as well. For instance, OpenAI, a private AI research company, just announced its newest Chat GPT feature that can speak and respond to images. This means users could take a picture of their food in their fridge and ask the platform to create a meal based on ingredients, based on the ingredients they have on hand. Again, the newest feature in Chat GPT allows you to respond to images. In that example that I gave you, it could be food in the refrigerator. And with this feature, the platform is asked to create a meal plan based on the ingredients you have on hand. Now, AI can be good and bad, Murphy said. Now, from a cybersecurity perspective, BECU, which is a credit union, is using AI to help develop tools and techniques to protect their systems. What happens is they basically find patterns and they create defenses that are more predictive and proactive rather than being reactive. Murphy said many organizations use AI to teach their computers to detect other computers are trying to penetrate their cybersecurity measures. He says sometimes we just see feelers, Murphy said. For example, the AI call you receive may ask you seemingly innocent questions, including just getting you to say, hello, who was there? And they're doing that to gather voice patterns that the scammer will use later to impersonate you. So you can protect yourself by maintaining the skepticism you have when there's a sense of urgency or an offer that is too good to be true. So basically, unsolicited phone calls from unknown sources should raise your concerns. Now, again, if you do get unknown phone calls, again, if you get unknown phone calls, whether your screen says unknown or it's a number you don't recognize, generally the best thing to do is hang up. But if you do say something, you have to limit the information you're willing to share. So again, like Murphy said, if they're claiming to be from BECU, just hang up and contact the BECU credit union to be sure that the voice is real. Or see if you've been scammed. Now, with scams, there are mechanisms to prevent scammers from making you a victim. And here's some tips. And these are very common sense tips. And one thing that we've lost in this country is a lot of common sense. Due to political correctness, people are in their feelings. All this technology, people are less sociable. They're using their devices too much. And traffic is just crawling around everybody's social media. But here's what you need to do to protect yourself from scams. Common sense, protect your information. Unless you are certain you are talking with a trusted source, always be skeptical about the requests that require your information. So, when it comes to your computer or anything that requires a password, never give your passwords, authentication codes, or personal information to a caller, even if they sound familiar, because it could be a voice recording trying to capture your voice pattern. Number two, as we know of these scams, they're trying to get you to react impulsively, making a quick decision. Sound desperate. Well, always beware of urgent requests. So don't click on links or reply to requests for money transfers. And I get these all the time. Walmart, I'm getting them from Popeyes, you name it. Avoid unverified offers to prizes. You know, when you have won something, when you've won some cookware, all those are coming up in emails. Well, you have to do this. If it's a prize and you think you've won, just assume it's a deal that's too good to be true. Why? Because it probably is. Take a pause. Pause when you're confronted with any deal or notice of a discontinued service that requires urgent action. I get those, especially from XM Satellite Radio and Hulu. I don't have Hulu. I don't have Netflix. I don't have any of that. Well, I do have XM Satellite Radio, but they're saying every week, please take action. Your service is about to expire. When I know it isn't about to expire, it's paid every month. So I'm saying, yeah, when you're confronted with a deal of any discounted service that requires you to take urgent action, don't do it. Because most reputable companies will give you plenty of time to communicate a special offer or discount, and they won't ask you to log in and provide your account number. Contact a trusted source. Hang up and call the company back using the phone number you know is theirs. Look up the number on the company's website or in your own contacts. Don't call the number that just called you or use a number in an email or text message you received from the caller. That's right, because some of these cell phones could be burners. Some of these text messages ask you to click on a link to subscribe or unsubscribe, even in an email. And if it's fraud that you're suspecting, the FTC wants you to report it. Now, the basic scams still rule. As interesting and as scary as AI driven scams are, Murphy said most people are more likely to encounter basic attempts at fraud and theft, like password phishing emails, text messages, spoof websites where scammers are trying to convince users to give up their login information. So I hope people don't worry so much about highly technical, sensational attacks that they look past basic attacks that are far more common, Murphy said. So if people want to protect themselves most effectively, Murphy advises the learning and practicing the basics of online security. Here's a quote: a healthy dose of skepticism is good, he said. Just take a second to look for red flags. Let that sink in for a moment. A healthy dose of skepticism is good. That's what he said. Just take an extra second to look for red flags. So, in other words, always be skeptical, because skepticism will lead you to those red flags. Fair use, I got some video information to show you so we can get more into it. And in these videos, I'm going to show you how voice scams really work. I just gave it to you in an article form. Now you're going to hear it. Fair use. This is for educational purposes only. Fair use. So let me pause for the calls for a moment. They just said a voicemail and something else that they said. I was thinking all this was on TikTok, OnlyFans, Facebook, an everyday voicemail. They can take that, manipulate it to say anything that they want to give them an advantage to get you to give up your money. Now, I want to show you how they actually use it. Again, I'm going to go back to another clip so you can really get an idea of what's going on. Fair use. This is a call in distress. Fair use. Fair use. Fair use. I got another clip for you, but again, this is serious. Now, people don't believe it until it happens to them. Now, each video that I've shown you, you've gone through different events. But what's common is individuals who are clever have taken innocent voices and manipulated them to gain access to their information. That's what scammers do. One last clip. Fair use, fair use. Again, now this video was on a little earlier, but you're seeing it for yourself how this cloning can be done. Now let me stop the share. Let me stop the share for a minute. I'm playing these videos so you don't have to take the information from me. You can see what's happening. Of course, this is a repeat from the previous video, but sometimes you need to watch information over and over and over again to see what's really going on, because there are a number of people who should be woke by now, not woke with this monstrosity of political correctness. I mean, woke as far as what's going on. Now, again, you saw it earlier. You're going to see it again. Just listen to what this gentleman is saying about what they can do with your voice and how they can convince you to give away your Saturday. Fair use. There you go. A couple of videos had similar information, but again, you have to use your common sense. I mean, AI is used for good things, but when it gets in the hands of criminals, to mess your life up. And they mentioned something that was real important: social media. And with the number of people on social media, this is what's happening. And I knew it was going to happen. People don't have social skills anymore. They're texting, they're on Facebook, they're on Instagram. They're too busy giving out their information. They're too busy telling everybody where they are. There's got to be a degree of privacy. And when it comes to this AI, I mean, you could have a small clip. Like I can do this video right now, and somebody could take my voice and put it in a situation, put it with somebody and say something that I never even mentioned. I mean, it's enough that they can take pictures of you and put you in pornography, make it look like it's you, but it's not you. But this is what criminals have done. Criminals are trying to steal your information so they can make money off of you. And the bottom line, as they talked about in Code Name, what you really have to do is go out in the real world, get off social media. You don't need it all the time. Too many of us have allowed social media to be too much of our lives, and we're putting too much information about ourselves on social media. And what's happening? Wherever there's traffic, you're going to get more and more traffic. That's like adding a new lane to a highway. Once you do that, you're going to add more traffic. Well, the scammers know where to go for information. And it's generally, when it comes to social media, it's the young folks. And when it comes to the desperation calls, it's the older folks. Those are the entities that are scammed the most. So I'm just going to say this in closing: keep your information private, get out in the real world. Yes, use a code, but most of all, watch how much business you're doing online. Watch who's becoming your friend on Facebook, Instagram, because it happened to me one time. Somebody took my name and put their picture, and then put their picture where it was supposed to be me, and use me to go out there and tell people that they won $50,000 from Publishers Clearinghouse. And you know what I did? I went in there, changed all of my information. And when you do passwords, utilize phrases, mix them with numbers, mix them with characters, capital letters, and lowercase letters. Don't give them anything that sounds common like your name, because they can mimic your keystrokes and they can get your information that way. And when it comes to your cell phone, don't pick anything up. Don't even say hello. Just let it ring, because they could call, not say anything, hear you say hello. They got a clip of your voice and they can use your voice. Bottom line, when it comes to scamming, it's always best to be safe than sorry. You live once, life is already stressful enough. And I'm just going to say this: use all the information that I've given you and look around you as well in the real world, because scamming is real. Don't be a victim of scamming. And that's my commentary for this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show right here on YouTube. If you like what I just presented, please comment, share, and subscribe. And if you're looking for some STEM content, check out the QCIS channel. On that channel, I give you a daily dose of science, technology, engineering, and math. Now, as soon as I record all of my videos on YouTube, I post videos from the 401 Talk Zone radio show and the QCIS channel up to my Twitter page known as X. Now, for the QCIS channel, since it's an educational channel, I also put that channel, the QCIS channel, on my LinkedIn page. In the end, always be blessed for what you have. Don't worry about what you don't have. Know that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. But if the shoe fits, wear it. If you don't like the shoe, change it. And once again, thank you for listening to this edition of 411 Talk Zone radio show right here on YouTube. Till next time, my name is Leon Jones. I want you all to have a wonderful and gracious evening. God bless you. I'm out.